I, patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hello, American Patriots, and welcome to another episode of the Douglas Ducote Show. You had many places to be tonight, but you chose to be here with me, and for that, I am forever grateful. This is take 2, because they just shut me down when we started the show at 8 p.m. Central Time, and the reason being is the same reason they gave me 2 weeks ago. It says, "Hi, the Douglas Ducote Show. We want to let you know our team reviewed your content and we think it violates our firearm policy. We know you may not realize this is a violation of our policies, so we're not going to apply a strike to your channel. However, we'll remove the following content from YouTube." So, for those of you who watched them do this 2 weeks ago, I appealed it. I explained to them that it is a sponsor for my show. It is an advertisement for the gunsmith. And then they said, "We're sorry, we apologize, we got it wrong," and cleared everything up. And obviously, it's still doing it again. So we won't run that advertisement right now until we figure out how we can do it without pissing off these idiots. Where was I? Let's see. Let's go back to John Lawrence, our one of our moderators and a good friend of mine. We served in the Army together. We were both at Fort Hood, Texas together. Great guy. He recently, a few months ago, lost his partner of 18 years who passed away. This left John in a financial situation where he still owes money for this funeral. And on top of that, then he's become very, very sick. He's unable to work at the moment and is financially struggling. So I started a GoFundMe page. If you go to the community section here at my YouTube channel, scroll down, you will find the GoFundMe page. If you are able, please make a donation so we can help him get back on his feet. If you're unable to do so, prayers are greatly appreciated. Any amount counts. Look, if it's just $5, thank you. Anything we can do to help out a fellow brother and a veteran, that's what it's all about, my friends. That's what conservatives and that's what Republicans do. We take care of our own. And John, we wish you a speedy recovery, and we have your back, brother. Okay. Joe Biden at a press conference over the weekend was called out by a reporter for referencing Trump supporters as domestic terrorists. The reporter said, "Mr. President, do you consider all Trump supporters to be a threat to the country?" Joe Biden replied, "You keep trying to make that case. I don't consider any Trump supporter to be a threat to the country." But then he didn't stop there. "I do think anyone who calls for the use of violence and fails to condemn violence when it's used, refuses to acknowledge that an election has been won, insists upon changing the way in which the rules you count votes, that is a threat to democracy and everything we stand for. Everything we stand for rests on the platform of democracy." Well, boy, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Dear Joe Biden, sir, you just called out members of your own damn party. That's right. Those pathetic, useless, un-American party called the Democrats. Members on record saying exactly what you just condemned. Members such as Hillary Clinton, Stacey Abrams, John Lewis, Benny Thompson, Jamie Reskin, Maxine Waters, Sheila Jackson Lee, Ed Perlmutter, Bob Scott, John Connors, Nancy Pelosi, and your very own Vice President Kamala Harris, just to name a few. Every one of them, and many, many more, can be viewed via YouTube and Twitter, calling Trump's election a fraud and the election stolen, calling for violence against Trump supporters, your own damn party. Every one of them, along with every Democrat in Congress, saying Trump colluded with Russia and stole the election, and not one Democrat on record speaking out about the call to violence that was done by Maxine Waters, Hillary Clinton, Ilhan Omar, Rashid Tlaib, AOC, every anchor at CNN and MSNBC. How about any of your party that's called out the violence perpetrated by Antifa and Black Lives Matter, setting fire to police cars, setting police stations on fire, looting and then burning down department stores, attacking anyone that speaks out against their ideology, to include attacking and killing law enforcement members. So wake the fuck up, sir. You just spoke about your own damn party, not the Republican Party. Moving right along, President Biden on Monday once again attacked MAGA GOP members of Congress in a Labor Day speech in Wisconsin as the president steps up his broadside against Republicans ahead of the midterms because they know what's fixing to happen. They're going to have their ass handed to them on a silver platter. I want to be very clear up front. Not every Republican is a MAGA Republican. Not every Republican embraces that extreme ideology. Extreme ideology, my ass. What the hell are you talking about? There's nothing extreme about Make America Great Again. We want people to be held accountable for their actions on both sides of the aisle. Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, and liberals, period. What happens for one happens for all. That's the way it's supposed to be. We want the Justice Department and the FBI to no longer take the blindfold off. Lady Justice wears one for a reason. Biden said at a rally in Milwaukee, I know because I've been able to work with mainstream Republicans in my whole career. Biden added, but the extreme MAGA Republicans in Congress have chosen to go backwards, full of anger, violence, hate, and division. Well, if there's any violence, hate, and division, it's because of people like you that it's talking no merit bullshit and trying to get your base to believe it. It's absolute insanity. It's like you want to see those on the right rise up and do what the left is doing. Who do you think Antifa is? Do you think they're Republicans? Do you think they're conservatives? No. There's not been a single Republican or conservative that you can point to that's out in the street hurting people or burning down buildings or killing police officers or looting shit. No, that's not Republicans and conservatives. That's people of your party, and they need to be held accountable for their actions. So if anybody's getting angry and upset, well, you're right. It's because of your rhetoric, and it needs to stop. The comments continue a theme from the president punching harder against his political opponents with elections upcoming and Democrats feeling some campaign momentum. I got your campaign momentum. Biden recently accused Republicans of embracing semi-fascism and delivered a major address in Philadelphia on Thursday, claiming equality and democracy are under assault by Republicans. Oh my God, you people are smoking fucking meth. Biden on Thursday also said that not all Republicans, not even a majority of Republicans, are MAGA Republicans. But he said the GOP overall is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And the president
returned to those attacks in Wisconsin again on Monday with a more specific target, vulnerable Senator Ron Johnson, Wisconsin, Republican. In scathing remarks, Biden labeled Johnson as one of the MAGA Republicans, the far right, the Trumpies, tying him to some Republicans' false claims the 2020 election was stolen and to the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol. Extreme MAGA Republicans don't threaten our personal rights and our economic security. They embrace political violence, Biden said. Senator Johnson said it was, by and large, a peaceful protest. Biden added of January 6, have you seen the video of what happened that day? Listen to the stories of the members of both parties of Congress and the jeopardy they were put in. Cops attacked and assaulted, spreading flagpoles sprayed with mace, stomping down, dragging, brutalizing. Biden also attacked Johnson over a plan from National Republicans Seniority Committee Chairman Rick Scott, Republican, Florida, which would sunset federal legislation after 5 years. So look, I'm on record, as are most Republicans and conservatives, of saying that what happened on January 6th is utterly bullshit. It should have never happened. But guess what? You know who was killed that day? You know who was gunned down that day with a bullet to the head? It was a female veteran that had no weapon on her, shot and killed by a Capitol police officer. No one storming the Capitol on the 6th, first, are conservatives, nor would I even recognize them as Republicans. They're thugs, just like Antifa and BLM. That's what they are. They're horrible, hateful people that did some stupid shit, and they need to be held accountable, and they are being held accountable. But is Antifa being held accountable for what they've done? Is Black Lives Matter being accountable for what they've done? Hell no, they're not. They're given a fucking pass. And that is what's pissing off the right. And that's why come midterms, when you Democrats are going, what the fuck happened? How is this possible that we lost the House and Senate? Well, guess what? It's your own damn fault. It's your own rhetoric of bullshit that's coming out of your mouths every day saying stupid, crazy shit that's just not true. The people that died, besides the female that was shot and killed, did not die at the hands of anyone that was there on January 6th. Look it up. Google it, for crying out loud, you stupid fucks. The president said that would put programs like Medicare and Social Security at rest, and he accused Johnson of wanting to savage those programs. Read the Republican campaign plan, the Senate campaign they put over this year, said Rick Scott of Florida, heads up that committee, the president said. They want to require Congress to vote on the future of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid every 5 years. Biden's barbs come up as Democrats believe their road to success in the midterms involves a dual emphasis on social issues, including red states, abortion laws, and voters' revolution of former President Trump. Mega forces are determined to take this country backwards, Biden said in his Thursday address, referencing Trump's Make America Great Again slogan. Backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love. All of that, by the way, my friends, is bullshit. Find me a Republican or a conservative on record, especially in Congress, that's mouthing any of this crap. The only thing you can come close to is what happened with the Supreme Court in Roe versus Wade. And they didn't ban abortions. They kicked it back to the states where it belongs. If you are in a red state and you happen to want to kill your baby, go to a blue state and they do it all fucking day long for you. That's how it was for years since the beginning of this. But for the past 50 years or so, it has been changed. Well, now it's right back to the same again. And no, they did not ban abortions. No, they're not going to stop you from marrying who you want to marry. I'm all for marry whoever you want to marry. If you're gay, bisexual, it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter to any Republicans or conservatives. We have gay, lesbian, bisexual friends. I have friends I served in the military with and law enforcement with that I grew up with that are part of the LGBT community. And guess what? They are against what the fuck's happening with this administration and the lies that are being told to the American people. Republicans, meanwhile, say soaring inflation and the economy are the key midterm issues. Oh, yes, they sure as hell are. Not to mention the lies that continue to be told by this administration. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Republican California, attacked Democrats on a lengthy of issues, including inflation, in an address ahead of Biden's Thursday speech last week. How many of you can afford to give up 1 month of your income? I bet not many, McCarthy said during an appearance north of Philadelphia in Scranton, Pennsylvania. But if you had a constant salary for the past year, you've had more than 1 month of your income taken away, McCarthy said. Democrats have had total control in Washington, D.C. So let me ask you, how have they done? And if you think for one split second that you're better off right now than you were just 2 years ago, either you just woke up from a fucking coma and crawled out from under a goddamn rock, or you're a fucking billionaire and it doesn't bother you in any way, shape, or form. Or you're being fed bullshit by the left and you believe it. When factually, all it takes is a little bit of homework and you can get the answers. A federal judge revealed Monday that former President Trump's medical records and documents related to his accounting information and taxes were seized during the FBI's raid at Mar-a-Lago. That's right. It wasn't just the supposedly top secret classified documents that he had that, oh, he's on record and so is his attorneys saying that he declassified them, so there's no crime there. No, that's not all they took. They took things that weren't in the original warrant. And they went through other people's rooms at Mar-a-Lago, like his kid's room, his wife's underwear drawers, her closet. It's pathetic what the FBI did. Absolutely pathetic. U.S. District Judge from the Southern District of Florida, Judge Elaine M. Cannon, ordered Monday that an independent special master be appointed to review Trump's records for attorney-client and executive privilege. That's right. They even took records that were from him and his attorneys. The judge also ordered the Justice Department stop its own review of the material for investigative purposes. In the order, Cannon revealed the type of documents that had been seized during the raid. According to the Privilege Review Team report, the seized materials included Trump's medical documents, his wife's medical documents, his kids' medical records, correspondence related to his taxes, and accounting information, the judge wrote. The FBI also seized 40 years of Trump's medical records from Mar-a-Lago in the search. Congressional Democrats have been seeking Trump's tax returns since 2019. Last month, a federal appeals court paved the way for the House Ways and Means Committee to finally obtain Trump's tax returns from an Internal Revenue Service under a law that prevents the disclosure of an individual's tax returns to a congressional committee. Now, let me stop there for a second and let me take you back to a little bit of American history. You show me one place in writing, in our Constitution, or in anything that relates to you running for office to be president of the United States where it says you have to release your tax returns. Show it to me, Democrats. Please. You can't. You know why? Because it's not fucking there. It doesn't exist. You have all made this up in your fucking meth heads like Hunter Biden, and it's not true. There is no requirement in the United States of America to be president of the United States that says you have to release your tax returns. It's not there. It never has been, and it probably never will be. But for it to happen, it has to require both the House and the Senate to make that rule. And guess what? They won't do it because they know that in the future, when another Democrat president comes along, they don't want his shit exposed. It's your private information. It belongs between you and the IRS, not you and the American people. Trump may seek emergency intervention measures from the Supreme Court in an attempt to temporarily block any release of those tax records to the committee. And I hope he does. The United States is examining the option and will consider appropriate next steps in the ongoing legislation, Justice Department spokesman Anthony Cole said in a statement. The FBI declined to comment. Fox News first reported last month that FBI agents seized boxes containing records covered by attorney-client privilege and potential executive privilege during the raid. Attorney-client privilege refers to legal privilege that keeps communications between an attorney and their client confidential. It is unclear at this point if the records include communications between former president and his private attorneys, White House counsel during the Trump's administration, or a combination of both. But guess what wasn't on the warrant? His medical records and his tax records. The FBI also seized Trump's passports during the raid, which they have now returned to him. Last week, the Justice Department, after Cannon's order, filed a more detailed list of documents taken in its raid of Mar-a-Lago, including dozens of classified documents and folders with classified markings. Also included was a wide assortment of other items, including over 1,000 documents that did not have classified markings, several articles of clothing and gift items, entries in hundreds of printed news articles. It is also not clear why investigators seized items labeled articles of clothing, gift items. In all, the Department of Justice said it took 18 such items. What the fuck are you taking their clothes for? Why? What has happened to our Department of Justice and our FBI? Was that in the warrant? I read the motherfucker. I didn't see anywhere where it said go take Melania's bras and underwear or Trump's fucking boxers. What are you doing? This shit is rogue. It's off the rails. There's no fucking no law and order anymore in the FBI or the Department of Justice. In all, the Department of Justice said it took 18 such items. Meanwhile, Cannon's order Monday halted the Justice Department's taint or filter team's review of seized records. Furthermore, in natural conjunction with that appointment and consistent with the values and sequence of special master procedures, the court also temporarily enjoins the government from reviewing and using the seized material for investigative purpose pending completion of the special master's review or further court order. The order, though, shall not impede the classification review and or intelligence assessment by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, as described in the government's notice of receipt of preliminary order. Trump's legal team last month asked Cannon to appoint a special master in the wake of the unprecedented search of his property, arguing that the DOJ's privileged review team should not be the final arbitrator or whether its actions were proper in such a high-profile case that the review team's scope was too narrow. Meanwhile, Trump, after Cannon's order, posted to his Truth Justice account, slamming the corrupt Justice Department. Remember, it takes courage and guts to fight total corruption, Department of Justice, and the FBI, Trump said. They're being pushed to do the wrong things by many sinister and evil outside sources. And those evil and outside sources are people like Hillary Rodham fucking Clinton, that dirtbag that the FBI let walk. Trump added, until impartiality, wisdom, fairness, and courage are shown by them, our country can never come back or recover. It will be reduced to being a third world nation. The government concluded the initial search of Trump's home in response to what it believes to be a violation of federal laws. Now, you ready for this shit? 18 U.S.C. 793, gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information. 18 USC 2071, concealment, removal, or mutilation of documents. 18 USC 1519, destruction, altering, or falsification of records in federal investigation, which, by the way, are the exact same crimes they allowed Hillary Clinton to walk on. But yet, they go after this guy. And they wonder why we, the American people, are pissed the fuck off. This is why. This is it. Because you don't treat people equally. You got one set of rules for Democrats and another for Republicans. And that is fucking bullshit. This isn't fucking China. This isn't Russia. We're not in Cuba or Venezuela. What in the fuck are we doing? CNN correspondent Sarah Snyder, who, by the way, will probably be fired really, really soon because she recognized the Hunter Biden scandal was real and has finally spoken out. In a Twitter thread on Sunday, arguing that investigating Biden's business dealings shouldn't be a partisan issue. The reporter stated that legitimate questions about President Joe Biden's son and the FBI's investigation into him should be asked, even though the younger Biden is not an elected official. Well, I think it should be too. We know what's on the laptop. That shit's already been leaked. This is one corrupt son of a bitch. And so is his daddy, Joe fucking Biden, who swears up and down that he knew nothing of what his son was doing in Ukraine and nothing of what his son was doing in China, when we know now from what was on the laptop, that's a goddamn lie. He knew exactly what his son was doing, and he made money off of it. He made millions of dollars off of it. We saw the pictures of him meeting Hunter and his daddy with who? The same people that were involved in his corrupt business dealings. That, my friends, is a federal crime. And that, my friends, the FBI and the Department of Justice should be looking into. But they're not. No, fuck no, they're not. Because they're Democrats. The mere fact that Sandra mentioned the Hunter Biden scandal saga enraged many liberals on Twitter who slammed her post and wondered if she is yet another sign that CNN has gone off the rails ever since new management proposed turning the network away from overt partisan bias. They didn't have a choice, my friends, because if they didn't switch shit up and start being real with the American people, they're going to close down CNN and MSNBC. They're not making any money. They're in the red. They've been in the red for 6 years now. Snyder made her Monday morning observation by sharing a Yahoo News article detailing Hunter Biden's alleged shady business relationship with China billionaire Yang Zemin and his international fixer, Patrick Ho, who was being investigated by the FBI in 2017 for a global bribery scheme and appeared to advance Chinese government interests. The article detailed how evidence of this relationship in huge monetary exchanges between the two parties, which included the president's brother, James Biden, could be found in emails on Hunter Biden's now infamous laptop. The piece claimed that this evidence could associate Biden with a Chinese counterintelligence threat to America. You think? But the depth and breadth of the Biden's financial ties with Ho and Ying raise new questions as to whether they were targets of a Chinese influence operation that, separate and apart from the ongoing criminal probe into Hunter Biden for his alleged tax fraud and potential foreign lobbying violations, represents a counterintelligence threat, Yahoo News reported. This report prompts Snyder's curiosity in her Monday tweet. The CNN correspondent shared the piece and wrote, "There are serious questions that should be asked about Hunter Biden, He's not an elected official, but legitimate questions should be asked and answered about his former business dealings and how it was handled by the FBI. This shouldn't be a partisan issue, she said. And now we know that the FBI, on purpose, fed false information to CNN and MSNBC that the Hunter Biden laptop thing was all conspiracy and that it wasn't true. And oh, the head FBI agent that did that shit happened to just quit recently. Snyder also shared an MSNBC report about FBI agent Timothy Tabal resigning from the FBI after being accused of bias in handling the Hunter Biden laptop investigation at the FBI. Fox News Digital reported last month that Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican Iowa, received accounts from multiple FBI whistleblowers that Tabal did not follow the strict fractional prediction guidelines to open an investigation into the Hunter Biden laptop. Sources have accused him of running interference in the investigation. Several prominent liberals on Twitter were not happy with CNN reporter being so curious about the issues. Liberal journalist Cheryl Jacobs commented, unfollowed after seeing Snyder's tweet. Of course, because we don't want the truth out there, do we? In another tweet, she claimed, CNN journalists, the real ones, not this garbage, should resign immediately in protest of the fascist new management. In recent days, some liberals have been complaining about CNN's new management taking the network in a less partisan direction. Some claim the network is going full MAGA. Liberal actor John Cusack fumed over the post, arguing that Snyder should be asking questions about alleged Republican malfeasance. Are you going to ask the question about Bill Barr's ties to Epstein through his daddy, his obstruction of Mueller, lying to Congress, child abduction? No. How about Bush Cheney Rumsfeld's ties to privatized war economy? Give me a break, he added. Liberal comedian Rob Gill tweeted, looks like Sarah's a sellout. And liberal blue check Tim Fulton argued that CNN employees should not be covering this story, tweeting, can anyone explain to me why this story, other than the GOP made it one? The only way this is a real story is if somehow Biden somehow did illegal to make his son rich. Guess what? Newsflash. That's exactly what the fuck took place. Do people at CNN have any evidence what happened? And if they don't, which they don't, why cover it? Cusack said. Go back to making your stupid ass movies, which, by the way, is drying up bigger than fucking Lake Mead in Las Vegas because nobody listens to your shit anymore. Nobody gives a fuck about Hollywood anymore. The Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation on Friday is suing Black Lives Matter Grassroots, which accused the foundation executive, you ready for this, of stealing $10 million worth of donation from the organization. That's right. The guy in charge of BLM has made himself very, very wealthy. The lawsuit filed in Los Angeles says BLM Global Network Foundation board member, and I can't even pronounce this fucking name, Shamaka Bars, siphoned off the money into his own personal piggy bank. The complaint characterizes Bars as a rogue administrator, a middleman turned upster, after having been entrusted in collecting donations on behalf of the Black Lives Matter movement. Bauer's actions have forced the foundation to undergo multiple investigations by the Internal Revenue Service and various state attorney generals, blazing a path of irreparable harm to BLM in less than 18 months, the lawsuit reads. When more than 300 movement leaders, as well as Black Lives Matter's founders, insisted that he resign from the Global Network Fund. The complaint says he continued to betray the public trust by self-dealing and breaching his duties. The Global Network Foundation is a nonprofit dedicated to advancing Black Lives Matter ideology, which was officially founded in 2013 after three organizers came together to create Black-centered political movement. And Black Lives Matter Grassroots is an organization affiliated with the foundation that represents all Black Lives Matter chapters nationwide. Last week at a press conference, Black Lives Matter Grassroots co-director Melina Abdul said Bauer's actions strip the Global Network Foundation of its power and have defamed its mission. Have I been not telling y'all this for quite some time now? I reported on how Black Lives Matter Foundation members were buying they went from living in shotgun $15,000 homes in crime-riddled neighborhoods to living in $5 million mansions in Hollywood. How the fuck is that possible? They win the lottery? Oh no, they siphon the money from BLM. Global Network Foundation has been taking away from the people who built it, she said. Global Network Foundation is now led by a highly paid consultant who paid himself upwards of $2 million in a single year. So tell me, how is the Black community doing? What has Black Lives Matter done for the Black communities across this country? I'll wait. Oh, let me help you. Not a damn thing. Every major metropolitan city in the United States of America that is crime-ridden with death and destruction not only is in the Black communities of those particular areas, but they also have Democrat mayors that don't give two shits about Black people. None. Bowers, according to the complaint, managed to steal control of the Global Network Foundation and became its sole board member and officer. He made more than $2.1 million from the Global Network Foundation within the span of less than 8 months. The lawsuit says the legal battle is the latest financial controversy with the Black Lives Matter organization. Earlier this year, a court filing said that Partisan, one of the executive directors of the Global Foundation for Black Lives Matter, sent her brother $840,000 from funds received through donations to the movement. Cullors have given her brother Paul money earmarked for professional security services. Insider Matthew Lowe reported, Paul, according to one artist's description from a collective co-founder by Cullors, is a graffiti artist. He was also BLM's head of security, according to New York Magazine article back in April. So a graffiti artist just got paid $840,000 to be their security expert. Folks, you couldn't make this shit up if you tried. It's not possible. It's like we're living in some type of a twilight zone from hell. And it continues. It's not letting up anytime soon. How do you like that speech that Joe Biden gave, where he looked like he was in the bowels of hell with red light shining all around him? And two United States Marines standing there. And guess what they're not allowed to be a part of? Anything that's political in uniform. Good job, Commander-in-Chief. Throwing your Marines under the bus. Now, the Marine Corps is not going to punish them because their Commander-in-Chief said, oh, bring them out here. So it looks like the military stands behind me. No, I can assure you, the men and women of the United States military, just like the men and women of law enforcement across this country, can't stand what the fuck is happening here. They can't stand it. It's rogue. this administration has gone off the rails and they're trying to take everybody down with them. They've destroyed our economy. They've destroyed everything we stand for, and they continue to do so, but yet they want to say it's Republicans that are responsible and it's Republicans that are doing it. Guess what, my friends? I was born and raised a staunch Democrat right here in Louisiana. I was a Democrat for many, many years until I went into the United States military. Came time to vote for the first time as a soldier, and I was shocked that most of my friends were all voting for Republicans. I'm like, I don't understand that. So I asked my platoon sergeant if I could sit down and have a conversation with him about this. I said, look, I don't get this. Why is everybody in this unit wanting to vote for Republicans? Why? I don't get it. All my family's Democrats. We've always voted Democrat. And then my platoon sergeant said, and I'll remember this to the day I die, Doug, I can't tell you who to vote for. I can only tell you this. If you plan to make the United States Army a career, you will find out real soon, especially in time of war, that when you need things, bullets, food, equipment, guns, you're not going to have it under Democrats, because the first thing they do is they strip the military budget when they get in office. But if a Republican's in office, they build the budget back up, and you will have what you need to fight your war or to train. And then I watched it happen. And I served under Democrats and Republicans. And I switched parties. And then I got to digging down real deep, thinking about growing up as a Democrat. And then I did a little bit of my own history and realized that it was the Democrat Party that founded the KKK. It was the Democrat Party that was against segregation. It was the Democrat Party, every one of them in Congress, voted against Abraham Lincoln freeing the slaves. That's right, my friends. The Democrats did that shit. It was the Democrat Party that is behind Planned Parenthood. And if you do a little bit of homework on it, and they finally have come out and admitted it, that the whole purpose for it in its inception was to eliminate the African race, the African American race, to kill black babies. And guess who most of the abortions that they take care of are? The black race. So if you're a Democrat and you're wondering what your party's really done for you or what they've done in the past to other people, I suggest you don't just listen to your buddies or you don't listen to CNN or MSNBC. You do your own homework on these subjects, and you will realize just how evil these bastards are, and they still are right now in 2022. And that, my friends, is shameful. Anyone that votes for the Democrat Party shouldn't fucking vote, because you're an incompetent idiot that doesn't know shit about factual information about this country, about our founding fathers, about our Constitution, about our Bill of Rights, and about what the Democrat Party did for eons and continue to do today in places like Chicago and New Orleans and Baton Rouge and Oakland and Philadelphia. You name it. Pick a city, any major metropolitan city where people are being gunned down, black on black crime. And guess who's running it? Fucking Democrats. Wake up, Democrats. Midterms are right around the corner. Do the right thing. Switch parties. Or you're an un-American piece of crap. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving in the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders and their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families, and our country. May God bless the United States of America more right now than at any time in our entire history do we need God's intervention? Thank you. I see you all next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time for another episode of the Douglas Ducote Show. Hope you all have a wonderful and blessed evening. Take care, my friends, and thank you for tuning in tonight.